Yeah, this is going to be interesting. Astrea and SCARLETT have played quite a bit. I think when you're looking at like the top players in NA, it's always, you know, you're looking at Astrea, you're looking at SCARLETT, and you're looking at Neeb. Those are kind of the players that, you know, everyone's like, yeah, they are the best. They are the ones that are always gonna, or have always been at the top. Of course, there are new players who are kind of up and coming and starting to really be able to make an impact and get some good games in. You know, you're looking, you know, Future, I think, he's always been kind of up and coming. He's starting to get there. You have Traeger as well, who has started to put out some amazing games. So I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited about this match. I'm excited about the NA scene in general. I think it's just really starting to have a resurgence. You're starting to see, you know, SCARLETT come back and have some great results. Astrea as well has been able to put up some amazing games. Also has some great practice partners on his team, you know, from people who play in Korea. You know, you have Joe, you have Ice, you know, all those players on Astrea's team. He has those practice partners. Of course, you do have to keep in mind the ping is a thing because there aren't any lands going on. But still, him and Neeb have kind of been the forefront of Protoss in NA. Now, this game, surprisingly enough, didn't see a probe block. Usually, you will see Protosses alongside their first probe to go build their wall. We'll send out one to just block this natural hatchery, and especially on a map like 2000 Atmospheres, I feel like that's pretty... I feel like it's a good map to do it on because the third base is actually a fair distance away from the natural. It's not just a hop and, you know, a hop and a skip away, like, you know, maybe this third would be. You know, it's a good amount of distance further away, and that means that it's the longer that the drones have to spend transitioning over there, and it's a slight advantage for the Protoss, which you always want. Now, the one thing that is normal here for Astrea is it is the Stargate opener into the Void Ray. This is what every single Protoss has been doing recently. Of course, there are a few builds that do forego it. But most builds just add it in anyway because it is such a good defensive tool. Even if you're going for a Glaive's, you know, a Glaive Adept all-in, like SOS, he'll probably still add on a Stargate, just to, you know, fake out his opponent a little bit, just to give him a little switcheroo and try and surprise him. So I'm absolutely not surprised to see this. You also have the third base coming down from Astrea in very, very good time right before that 4-minute mark. It is the fastest third base that Protoss can get, and is decently safe. Most Protoss, or most Zergs, have realized that you can't really break it. Now, SCARLETT does have a few extra legs out here, and she's going to try and poke around with these and see if she can get any damage done. I don't imagine it's going to be too much with that Void Ray out, and yeah, you already have a probe and an Adept in that block. Another Adept being warped in. Should be able to hold. Adepts will go down eventually, but they're going to stay alive long enough that the Oracle can come back, the Void Ray can come back, and this should be no issue for Astrea. But let's see what's happening on the other side of this. SCARLETT pokes around with a few links, doesn't lose all of them, still keeps a good amount of units alive, and already has the Roach Warren on the way. And is just going to be going into her ground army. Has been undisturbed up to this point. It's been Void Ray into double Oracle, but not really any damage getting done with them. And you see just, oh, I love this. SCARLETT is just poking in with these links, and it's forcing Astrea to respect it. He pulls back the Oracles again. It may have been a bit of an overreaction there from him. Because you want those Oracles across the map. You want these getting damage done. You don't want them just sitting back at home defending, because they're never going to get any use there. So SCARLETT just playing this out wonderfully so far against this standard, you know, against this Protoss opener. No. Oracle's go and get 3 drones. Probably could have gotten a bit more with the target fire. And yeah, SCARLETT gonna just be able to shut them away. That one Oracle gets really low. That's a lot of hull damage. And behind this, you do have Astrea going into +1 and Blink. This is going to be in preparation for a timing attack, as usually does come out from the Protoss off of these 3 bases. SCARLETT getting immediately into the infestation pit. 5 minutes, 6 minutes, just about, is usually when you want to, I guess, start working on the hive. Still feels a bit early from SCARLETT, this infestation pit, especially without a Hydralisk Den on the way. I'm not sure exactly what she's going to go for. Although, with that being said, is this going to be Swarm Hosts? Yeah, All right, wonderful. Yeah, oh, this is cool. All right, so SCARLETT gonna be going into Swarm Hosts. Now, Astrea once again pokes in, gets 3 more drones, but Astrea has not seen this infestation pit. Has no idea about the 11 Swarm Hosts on the way. In fact, no, he's just working on +1. He's getting a blink, you know, going to go for this blink stalker attack, which is, of course, this is a completely normal timing attack to go for. It's very, very efficient, especially if your opponent goes into a heavy roach count. That's not what SCARLETT is doing. Oh, sorry, I completely forgot to put up the best of 3 sign. That's not what SCARLETT is doing. No, it's 11 Swarm Hosts, and they're going to start moving across the map. Now we'll have to see if SCARLETT is ready for this push, because that's going to come as well. If she can hold on to these stalkers and also get the Swarm Hosts across the map, she should be able to snipe the 3rd base while defending. We'll have to see if she has enough, though. It's an extremely inflated army supply count, but Astrea, he's just pushing back. What? No, Astrea has enough here to be able to beat this army. He has enough to commit in, but he's pulling back. Here come the Swarm Hosts. Astrea, he's falling for the trap. He's falling for the trap of the Swarm Hosts. You can't pull back to try and defend against them. You need to try and get damage done. The Nexus is just going to get focused down. It should not be killed, but it's getting so very low. And Astrea has pulled back his entire army. He has not attacked. He has not tried to hit this timing. And now it's an attack with a bunch of roaches, some Swarm Hosts. Oracles are just gonna zap it. Get away. Get out of here. Queens will eventually come by to help that out, but Nidus Swarm is gonna come down. The Swarm Hosts are gonna get into full swing now. And what does Astrea have? Well, it's a lot of Stalkers. They have Blink, they have +1. It's a very efficient army that you can trade with. But we'll have to see. Immediately force fields away, but here come the Locusts. Gonna land down against some Stalkers, which is not what you would like, usually. As Astrea postures, that's gonna be the Nexus going down. That should just get focused. Oh, SCARLETT? SCARLETT, focus the Nexus. SCARLETT, focus the Nexus. SCARLETT, right-click the Nexus. No. Oh. SCARLETT not paying attention to the Locusts is not able to kill the Nexus off, which means that, well, Astrea is going to have a lot more pushing power. He's going to be on even mining to the Zerg, who only now has established their 4th base. And, well, so is the Protoss. SCARLETT is not that far ahead right now. Astrea, again, he probably could have committed in earlier, but pulled back and just didn't pull the trigger, which is really surprising. And again here, you know, you're playing against Swarm Hosts. The Roach army for SCARLETT is not going to be that big. It's 36 Stalkers versus 10 Roaches and 11 Ravagers. That is not a lot. That is very easily, you can deal with that with Blink Stalkers, but Astrea is just not confident in the ability for his army here to attack. He's gonna finally take a fight here, but creates a force field, you know, choke point that works against him in the end. And this is, you know, kind of similar to issues that I think I've seen from Astrea in the past, where he just struggles to really commit in when he needs. One of the things that you saw, I think, especially when it came to the, you know, the DreamHack NA event, was that when you looked at Neeb, who did eventually end up winning that, he would commit with attacks like these. He would go in, he would try and find that killing blow. He had the sense to know that he could win those fights. And Astrea just seems like he's not sure about it. And now you have, you know, the Zerg getting into Baneling is going to be finishing out the ground army. Hasn't lost any of those Swarm Hosts. Nice snipe on the Nidus Swarm, and some good force fields here. This is actually a really good fight for Astrea. Manages to get rid of so much of that Zerg army. SCARLETT is going to try and chase this down, but his slow Banelings does not do well. And now Disruptors are out. Some good Corrosive Biles, though, get a good amount of damage. Astrea blinks forward now. Here comes the Disruptor shot. Gets a lot of Ravagers down. Astrea trading decently here, but has to be careful as the Locusts are going to come on in. Another Disruptor shot goes out, gets a Baneling, but that's it. SCARLETT, she's gonna try and push this. She's gonna try and see how much damage she can get done. Astrea, I just don't know if he has enough. Disruptors at the front are gonna get focused down. Shot goes out, but he can't connect. SCARLETT trading out, but here comes the blink forward. Astrea realizing that he has enough Blink Stalkers to be able to deal with this Roach Ravager count. Gonna continue with the chase. Oracles coming back in. These Oracles have been alive all game, but they haven't been getting a lot of value past the early game. Will finally come in to help out here as bad rally. And Astrea is starting to take some great trades here. Has the 4th base already established. SCARLETT is also on 4th bases. Has a 5th up, but nothing is mining from it. +2 has finished up now for the Zerg. Adrenal glands on the way. But will it be enough to hold against this army? I'm not sure. Again, sorry about shaking the camera with this. But with that being said, Astrea, is he just going to pull back here? I feel like he has enough. He's just not going to commit. No disruptors, you know, to support. Astrea not feeling like he has quite enough just yet to go for the finishing blow. SCARLETT gonna chase this down. Astrea gonna bring in the reinforcements now. 2 more disruptors have been completed, of course. 2 did end up dying in that initial engagement. Disruptor shot number 1 to zone out. Does give you balance. Ooh, nice corrosive bile though. Snipes off the Void right now. The Oracles as well are not being microed, are not being focused on by Astrea, and they're gonna go down too. Astrea just taking some losses here that you really can't afford. Has a large bank as well. He's been focusing on this fight though and hasn't been rebuilding. Does not have a lot of gas. And that's because behind this he's been trying to transition to Stargates. Has 2 Stargates on the way. Has a fleet beacon as well. That alongside the double disruptor production just means that there is not a lot here for Astrea. Now it's going to be charge lots moving on in to try and get some damage done, but there are already spine crawlers that have been built, and on the other side, it's going to be the commit from SCARLETT. She dives on top. It is just the roaches, but it might be enough. Eventually going to pull back as that disruptor shot gets a good hit, but Astrea, his army gets absolutely ravaged. SCARLETT, it felt like she was in a bad position, but has been able to make this work. The Zealot attack on the other side didn't get any damage at the 3rd base, but here in the main now, 5 worker kills going down, 6 in total. Locust commit on to the 3rd, 4th base though, and that is very, very dead. Those 11 Stormhosts finally getting some value down. It usually takes a while for that to happen. And that's one of the reasons why I was a bit nervous for SCARLETT, is that the Swarmhosts didn't really get value. She hadn't been able to focus down the Nexuses. The Swarmhosts really weren't, you know, they weren't killing a lot of units, but she's been able to survive until then. Disruptor shot going out, does not manage to land. Behind this, however, you have carriers on the way. That's right, Astrea is getting into the ground army, but the real question is, can he survive long enough to get into it? Because, well, there's not a lot here for Astrea's. No way does SCARLETT just get these out. No. No. Did these Swarmhosts actually escape? That's ridiculous. Okay. Yeah, the Swarmhosts are finally going to go down. A lot of them going to be picked off. There's still about 8 remaining or so, or sorry, 7 remaining or so. But here comes yeah, SCARLETT just going to commit on into the 3rd base now. 2 disruptor shots, immediately not able to hit. Here comes the follow-up from SCARLETT. Has the Swarmhosts here to support. Gonna be looking for the fight. Blows up the nice arm. No, the disruptors! Astrea! He leaves them ungrouped. Oh no, that's so much supply. That's so much fighting power for Astrea just gone. That is absolutely devastating. Now it is just Blink Stalkers. Finally, the carriers are gonna come through, but it's already double Spire on the way. SCARLETT's committing into the 3rd. She wants to kill the Nexus. The carriers are here, but they're not gonna do damage fast enough. Robo facilities going down. Nexus being focused. That's 2 Nexuses that have gone down. SCARLETT, she commits. She manages to kill what she needs to. And Astrea with 1 misclick on the disruptors might have just lost himself this game. I mean, he's going to hold this attack at the very least, as you have Swarmhost just walking by, just giving a little waddle. There's only 4 of them left, and they're saying, hey, what's up? Nice to meet you. How you doing? Gonna drop down a few more locusts here, but 20 probes go down. Astrea, he's gonna be able to clean up most of this army, which is a bit surprising. SCARLETT might have committed a bit too deep, but she's done almost critical damage. Behind this, what is SCARLETT's base count looking at? Right now, 5. She has managed to saturate the 5th base, which is good. Still sitting at only 73 workers, and did lose a lot of her army there. Remaxing on roaches, has a few corruptors on the way, but it is 5 carriers from here from Astrea. Astrea might have what he needs. This is a massive warp in here of sentries. He's gonna try and go with the killing blow. Astrea knows that he can't rebuild, that he's taken too much damage. He just has to try and kill SCARLETT. And well, this is a decent enough army to try and do that with. Immediately force fields go down. It doesn't section off a lot of the roaches, but the carriers, they're not getting focused down. There are not a lot of corruptors up, but the ground army is gone. It's been completely cleaned up. Sure, the Corruptors will die, but a few stray corrosive vials here. Queens are slowly gonna get picked off. I'm not sure if Astrea has what he needs to be able to finish this game. It's 4 carriers. It's some stalkers, but there are no upgrades on these carriers. Their +1 is not finished yet, and now 10 Corruptors come on the way. SCARLETT, she should just have enough to finish this game off. She's gonna commit in, kill off the ground army as best she can. Spore Crawler as well, just gonna help out. And as soon as there are no stalkers, the Corruptors can reign supreme as soon as they come out of their little, as soon as they hatch from their little larva pods. And Astrea, I mean, tried hard here. That was a very convincing push, but the Zerg just had too much. Here come the Corruptors, and they can just focus down the carriers. You'll kill a lot of them, but SCARLETT can rebuild. Astrea cannot. Recall goes down. Still loses another carrier. I mean, it's still close. It's 75 supply to barely over 100. 127 here for SCARLETT. But she's going to snipe another base. I mean, Astrea's on 1 base, if that, right now. He's long distance mining from his, previous third. Barely has any workers in his natural. And now the Corruptors, they just commit to kill the carriers. There's enough of them. There's nothing left for Astrea. As soon as these carriers go down, that is it. That is all that she wrote. SCARLETT gets it done. An extremely close game. All it took was 1 misclick on those Disruptors, though, and it started to spiral downhill for Astrea. Which is obviously a terrible feeling. You never like seeing that happen, but that's how it goes sometimes when you're in such intense games when it's so close. 1 mistake like that can cause all of the difference. Sentries have been warped in. Astrea, he's going to try and fight this, but just does not have anything left. SCARLETT's still on 5 bases. Still has 67 workers left, and no matter how much this Protoss player does fight, it will be the end of the game. SCARLETT can add on Infestors. Just saying, listen, I know I'm ahead. I can kind of do whatever I want here. There's no issue with that. And I mean, it's going to be maybe 1 more push here from Astrea with some Blink Stalkers, but I don't think it's going to get anything done. Sentry's already getting caught out. Roaches are here, and yeah. This is a fantasy GG timing if I've ever seen one from Astrea. There is nothing left. It's just these small stalkers trying to run back, and well, the last mining nexus is going to go down. GG. SCARLETT takes game number 1. In the bottom left, it's going to be your blue Zerg from Shopify Rebellion. She is SCARLETT. And in the top right, the red Protoss from Alpha X, Astrea. Yeah, that last game, I mean, it was so close. And again, there were a lot of times there where Astrea could have committed to try to get more damage, and it probably would have killed SCARLETT. Especially when the Swarm hosts were just coming out, SCARLETT did not have enough available at her disposal to really be able to deal with the immediate attack. But Astrea pulled back, even though he had enough at home to deal with the Swarm hosts. Didn't commit in, and that's just, it's something where over the course of the game, SCARLETT's able to recover. Astrea had a larger army for a majority of that game. He was ahead for a majority of that game, and just kind of slowly went out of favor for him. Now, we did see the hatch block go down in this game, and again, I would like to see Astrea commit to those attacks with the Blink Stalkers. It's a build that you've seen, I think, especially a lot of Protosses have been going for recently, where it's the Stargate, you get up your Void Rays, and you can go into, if you're feeling it, 1 or 2 Oracles, and then after that, you go for the +1 Blink Stalker attack. It's a build that a lot of Protosses have been doing. Neeb has been doing it a lot. But again, the difference there is Neeb really does commit when he realizes he has an advantage, especially against SCARLETT, where SCARLETT, again, that was a very early infestation pit for the Swarm hosts, so you're not going to have a lot of army otherwise. It's just something where, hey, it's a mistake made in the moment. Astrea not able to recognize his advantage. SCARLETT manages to take game 1. It was close, though, there until the very end, until the Disruptors got misclicked, and they just ran into the Zerg army. We'll have to see how it goes this game, though. It's pretty much mirror builds aside from the hatch block, which, is standard against Zerg. That's usually what players go for, is the hatch block. And I'm glad to see Astrea pull it out this game, but again, it's not going to slow down the Zerg the most. It delays their mining, which is the biggest thing. Pretty much the symbiosis of this build for the Protoss is, hey, I go for the hatch block. That's going to delay your mining a little bit because your workers have longer to transition. That means you're going to have less units out as early, which means that it's a lot safer for me to get up that early third base, especially with the defensive Void Race. Now, this game, it's not Void Race. There is no Stargate in the main of Astrea. That's a Twilight Council. You know what that means? It's probably going to be Glaive to Depths. Usually you do not see a blink or charge lot timing really come out. Just because Zergs are, I mean, so on top of building roaches. Scarlet, does she see that? Yeah, she sees that. Yep. Scarlet sees the robo facility, and that's actually pretty big because that robo facility is much faster than it would usually be if there's a Stargate. So that should tip Scarlet off that there is going to be no air play this game. No Void Race, no Oracles. Just the ground force, and I think this is going to be an all-in here from Astrea. Yep, has the Glaives on the way, already has the 2 additional gates building as well. I don't see a world where this... I don't see a world where this isn't transitioned, like where this is transitioned into a third base. I think Astrea is going to commit to this. We'll have to see how ready Scarlet is. Has her third base on the way, and with additional gateways also coming down, another one in the main, will mean that our total, I believe, is going to be 4. Let's see how ready she is for it. There's the early Roach Warren. Yeah, I think Scarlet's read this perfectly. I think she knows exactly what is going on. She's going to drone up right about until that 4-minute mark. And as soon as that Roach Warren is finished, it is just Roach production. It is 4 gates on the way. And it's going to be committed to pressure here from Astrea. No third base. No follow-up for him. Just a depths, trying to see how much damage they can get done. Yeah, and the Zergling's confirmed. Zerglings just run by. They confirmed that, yes, indeed, this is going to be a depths. They are going to be moving out across the map. So Scarlet, complete knowledge of what the Protoss' plan is here. And you just to see, I mean, yeah, no more workers have been produced. Queens are even moving forward aggressively here to try and cut off the Adepts. This is perfectly played so far from Scarlet. Has roaches and lings on the way. No more gases being taken either. Queens moving forward. They're going to be the first ones to tank. Glaives is done now, which means that, well, these Queens will go down a bit faster than you expect. Already one being focused, but it goes down for an Adept as well. Cancel there on the Shade means that the Queens can continue to be fought. But here come the Zerglings. Here come the Ravagers as well to fight. And Astrea, there's just not enough army here for him. He did not have enough gateways to fight this straight up. Scarlet, a perfect read on this timing attack. Just defends it perfectly so far. We'll have to see, if the Adepts get follow-up damage. But I just don't see them getting anything done. Scarlet is still building lings, still building roaches. She just might go for a follow-up push here. I think the plan is just, hey, I defended this. I'm just going to build a whole bunch more lings and roaches. I'm going to go across the map because what is there? Astrea's taking a third on 4 gateways and a single robo facility. It's extremely greedy. It's depending on the Zerg not pushing out, and, well, Scarlet, she is an aggressive Zerg. Won't be able to pick off those Adepts, and they're gonna have to come home. This is gonna be a push. This third base, I think, is forfeit. I do not believe that Astrea can hold this with so many lings, with Ravagers as well. Immediate surround onto the Adepts. They don't shade out. Finally, some juggles coming through, and they're actually very solid from Astrea. Some amazing control here with the Warp Prism. Saved so many Adepts. Oh my. That was incredible, but I don't agree about pushing out here though, Astrea. You still do not have enough to really fight this. Does manage to save the Immortal, and this Warp Prism juggling is actually incredible. Even knowing that push was coming out and the counterattack from Scarlet was coming through, that was superbly controlled from Astrea. He's gonna go for a follow-up push. I do not know if I agree with this. I really don't see this working out. Scarlet's just still building army, and well, the Immortal doesn't go down, but the juggle's coming through to the back. Adepts do manage to shred through the lings. Astrea's trading out army for army, but I'm not sure if it's exactly worth it. He's able to get up his third base behind this, and the control, of course, means that, hey, Astrea, he's still alive, and that's the biggest news here, but Scarlet still has a massive army. She is putting down the 4th base. We'll have to see if Astrea can hold the next attack. It's going to be just wave after wave of Lings, of Roaches. SCARLETT, she's not droning up. There's no macro behind this for the Zerg. It is full committal. Now the Ravagers are here. There are low Immortals. The Adepts are not at full health. They're getting surrounded by Lings. Corrosive Vials manages to hit, but God, the Glaives, they just absolutely shred. SCARLETT, she needs this attack to work. I don't know if it's going to. It's just Adepts versus Ravagers, but those are some good Corrosive Vials. The Adepts are slowly going to get thinned out. The Warp Prism, the Micro is very, very possible for it. It's only 39 workers behind this. I think SCARLETT, she has to win with this push. She's finally killing the Adepts. There's only one more Immortal left. And I think has SCARLETT done it? This is so close. I don't know if she has enough. The Immortal is picked up. The Robo Facility is on power. There are only 2 gates for Astrea. He does not have any production behind this. Shield Battery is going to be able to heal up the Immortal, though, and that's absolutely massive. The Adepts, though, need to get healed up as well, and there they go. Finally, everything's going to get repowered. It's 4 Adepts and an Immortal here trying to hold on, but there's still Lings streaming across the map. There are still units being produced for SCARLETT. The Shield Battery overcharge is going to run out. The juggles are insane from Astrea, but he's still losing units. The third base is going to go down. You cannot hold on to this any longer with only 1 Immortal. The Adepts, oh my God, these pickups. The Glaives doing so much work, getting so much damage done, but there is too much. SCARLETT has too much. The Lings and Ravagers are streaming across the map still. It is full committal. There's 2 Immortals, but the third base is gone. And that is all that SCARLETT needed. There's so much money in the bank for Astrea. He doesn't have enough production to use all of it. And now they're into the natural. Now the pylons are going to go down. The 2 Immortals are fighting Lings. 1 goes down already. GG. SCARLETT makes it work and gets the 2-0. Holy crap.